Have you ever wanted to talk about sustainability to your friends, to your family, your loved ones, and just didn't? Trust me, I get it. I've been working on sustainability for 15 years, and it's not a topic that I easily talk to my family about. But over the years, I learned a few shifts that make talking about this topic more positive, easier, and I'm gonna share them with you in this video. Stick around. Have you ever wanted to try and bring up climate change and climate action, but didn't know where to start? At family gatherings, it always felt complicated, too heavy, too political. I didn't want to start a debate. So I just stayed quiet, and I only talked to people that I know were open to it, about it, and only if they showed an interest, if they were curious. And maybe you felt that way too. I have studied, researched, and worked in sustainability for over a decade, and in all the time, I never really talked about it to my family and friends. Professionally, I've lived in a bubble, really. Everybody around me knew about sustainability, worked on it, felt strongly about it. But at home, around the dinner table, it was awkward. During all this time, I really dodged the topic with the people that should know most about what I'm doing. But I promised myself no more of that. It's time to speak up. Because if those of us who care and understand keep staying silent, who's left to speak up for change? There is actually a name for this quiet avoidance. It's called the spiral of silence. People assume that other people won't share their opinion, that their opinion won't be popular, and so they don't say anything about it. But here's the truth. In a survey across 125 countries, with over 130,000 participants, 89% of people supported climate change. 86% of people endorsed climate action, and over 70% of the participants said they would even contribute part of their income to help with the problem. So really, most of us already care. We're just not conscious that many of those around us feel the same way. We just don't realize that others do too. So when we stay silent, we've reinforced the illusion that nobody else cares, when in fact, almost everyone does. With my background, my easiest entry point really to the topic is when somebody asks what I do for a living. That happens all the time. And I've changed my approach to saying, I'm a project manager, I'm an analyst, I'm a researcher too. I work on sustainability, I work on energy efficiency, I work on recycling, I look at energy policy, all of these things. If I mention that I've done work on retrofitting buildings and they show an interest, they're curious, that's already a win. That's already a win, and then the conversation can follow their curiosity. And the further that conversation goes, this can lead to suggestions such as movies, books, activities with the family for the weekend, all of those with an environmental twist. The important thing I realized is that I never preach. There's no doom and gloom. There's no guilt. There's just sharing and connection. The simple fact that they want to talk about it is already a bigger step than they realize, and than I realized. So I offer myself as a conversation partner for the future if ever they want to talk about climate change, sustainability, climate action again. Not a teacher, not an activist, not an eco-warrior, just a listener. And studies show that people respond best to those who already quietly live the values they endorse. They don't respond well to those who lecture and argue. It's a difference between confrontation and invitation. Being somebody who recycles, cycles to work, and grows their herbs on the balcony is far more persuasive than any statistics. Talking from experience helps connect with other people, and that connection creates trust, and change happens through trust, not pressure. Every calm conversation builds something. Carbon competence, climate literacy, a shared understanding. You never know whose perspective you might be shifting, and how they then in turn might shift somebody else's perspective. Each quiet exchange adds a drop to the tide of change. That's quite philosophical, isn't it? So yes, talking about climate change shouldn't and doesn't need to feel like a fight. It can be an act of care for others, for yourselves, for the future generations. And of course, it's an act of care for our planet. So, who's one person you could have this conversation with this week? Or have you already had it? How did it go? How have you overcome the spiral of silence? Let us know in the comments so we can all share in your experience. Thank you and see you again soon. But over the years, I've learned a few shifts. Don't respond. They don't respond. They don't. Carbon clap. And each quiet change adds a drop to the tide of change. Thank you and see you again soon.